The Exiled Princess. Princess Lyra stood at the edge of Echo Lake, watching Earth's single moon cast ripples of light across the water. How strange this planet was with its one pale satellite, so unlike the three luminous moons that circled her homeworld of Australis. 6 months had passed since her exile, yet she still couldn't reconcile herself to the solitude of Earth's night sky. The royal physicians had been clear. Her reproductive system lacked the celestial resonance required for conception. For an ordinary Australis citizen, this would have been merely unfortunate. For the only daughter of Emperor Novus, heir to the Crystal Throne, it was catastrophic. The Australis royal line had always passed through daughters, each bearing a single female child who carried the Empire's genetic memory and connection to the stars. Without an heir, the 1,000-year lineage would end with her. The lake's beautiful at night, isn't it? Lyra turned sharply, her luminescent skin pulsing with surprise. A human man stood nearby, tall with dark curly hair and curious eyes. He wore the insignia of the Interplanetary Research Division, one of the few Earth organizations authorized to interact with extraterrestrial visitors. "I didn't mean to startle you," he said, keeping a respectful distance. "I'm Dr. Nathan Wells. I work at the research station down the shore." "I know who you are," Lyra replied. Her voice carried the musical cadence common to all Australis speech. "You've been watching me for weeks." Nathan looked embarrassed, observing professionally. "Your species' bioluminescence is remarkable." "Is that all you find remarkable?" Lyra asked, allowing a hint of amusement to color her tone. On Australis, such directness would be inappropriate, but she'd come to appreciate humans' straightforward nature. "No," Nathan admitted. "Everything about you is fascinating." That first conversation lasted until dawn. Nathan spoke of his work studying the biological compatibility between species, while Lyra shared sanitized tales of Australis culture. She omitted the shame of her exile, how her father had given her a choice between banishment to Earth or living in seclusion in the forgotten towers of the Crystal Palace. She had chosen Earth, preferring to face the unknown rather than be hidden away like a broken heirloom. In the weeks that followed, their meetings became routine. Nathan brought Earth foods for her to try, sweet fruits and savory dishes that delighted her sensitive palate. She taught him phrases in her native tongue, laughing at his clumsy attempts to reproduce her language's complex tonal patterns. "Why did you really come to Earth?" Nathan asked one evening as they sat by the lake. 3 months had passed since their first meeting. Lyra considered lying but found she couldn't. Not to him. "Exile," she said simply. "I cannot bear children." Nathan's expression showed confusion. "That's why they sent you away." "I'm not just anyone," Lyra explained, the lights beneath her skin dimming with emotion. "I'm the imperial heir. Without a daughter to succeed me, the Crystal Throne has no future." "That's barbaric," Nathan said, his voice rising. "You're more than a vessel for the next generation." His indignation warmed her. On Australis, no one had dared question the Emperor's decision. Not even her mother, the Empress, who had wept silently as Lyra's ship departed. "My people believe the royal bloodline carries our connection to the cosmos," she explained. "Without it, our spiritual link to the stars diminishes." "And what do you believe?" Nathan asked. The question startled her. No one had ever asked what she believed. "I believe I am incomplete," she admitted, "but not in the way my father thinks." As autumn painted Echo Lake's surroundings in warm colors, Lyra found herself changed by Earth and by Nathan. His perspective challenged centuries of Australis tradition. He saw her not as a failed princess, but as a person of value independent of her reproductive capacity. One crisp evening, Nathan arrived at their meeting place with unusual nervousness. He carried a small box and couldn't seem to meet her eyes. "Is something wrong?" Lyra asked, her skin pulsing with concern. "No, nothing's wrong," he said, "but I need to ask you something important." When he knelt before her, Lyra was bewildered. He explained the Earth custom of marriage proposals, opening the box to reveal a ring with a stone that caught moonlight like a miniature star. "I know we're from different worlds," Nathan said. "But I love you, Lyra. Not as a princess or an heir or any other role you're supposed to fill. I love you for who you are." Lyra's luminescence flickered rapidly, the astraless equivalent of tears. Among her people, marriage was strategic, particularly for royalty. The concept of marrying for love was as alien to her as Earth had once been. "The Astralis Council will never recognize such a union," she warned him. "I'm not asking the Council," Nathan replied. "I'm asking you." Their wedding was small, held beside Echo Lake under the stars and moon that had witnessed their first meeting. The few humans who attended, colleagues of Nathan's from the research station, seemed awed by the soft glow that emanated from Lyra as she spoke her vows. No representatives from Astralis came. Her father had forbidden any contact. They settled into Nathan's lakeside cabin. Lyra adapted to Earth customs with increasing ease, finding unexpected joy in the simplicity of human life. Nathan continued his research, occasionally using Lyra's willing assistance to study Astralis biology. "Your cellular structure is fascinating," he told her one evening after analyzing a sample of her luminescent skin cells. "Your people evolved to absorb and process stellar radiation differently than humans. Is that why we cannot interbreed?" Lyra asked casually, though the question was far from casual to her. Nathan looked up from his microscope. "The standard theory is that our genetic structures are too different. But honestly, there's been very little research on human Astralis reproduction. Your government hasn't exactly been forthcoming with information. They consider the royal genetic line sacred," Lyra explained, "and they determined mine was flawed." "Science might disagree," Nathan replied, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "There's so much we don't understand about cross-species compatibility." As winter approached, bringing snow to Echo Lake, Lyra received her first communication from Astralis since her exile. A royal messenger arrived at their cabin, bearing the Emperor's seal. "Your father demands you return," the messenger stated without greeting. "Alone." "Why?" Lyra asked, her luminescence dimming defensively. "The Council of Elders wishes to try new procedures to restore your fertility." Nathan stepped forward protectively. "She's not going anywhere unless she wants to." The messenger regarded Nathan with disdain. "This doesn't concern you, human." "He's my husband," Lyra said firmly. "Anything concerning me concerns him." The messenger's expression shifted to disgust. "You've married a human. Does the Emperor know of this connection?" "You may tell my father that I have found happiness on Earth," Lyra replied. "I will not return to be subjected to more failed treatments and disappointments." After the messenger departed, Lyra's luminescence pulsed with anxiety. "They won't accept this, Nathan. In their eyes, I've compounded my failure by marrying outside our species." Nathan took her hands in his. "You are not a failure, and whatever comes, we'll face it together." That night, as Earth's solitary moon hung over Echo Lake, Lyra dreamed of Astralis and its 3 moons for the first time since her wedding. In the dream, her mother appeared, placing a hand over Lyra's abdomen and whispering words from an ancient Astralis blessing. "The stars find new paths when old ones are blocked." Lyra woke with the words echoing in her mind, feeling different somehow, changed, as if something dormant had awakened within her. "Nathan," she whispered, gently rousing her sleeping husband. "I think something's happening to me." The impossible child. The first signs were subtle, a slight change in Lyra's luminescence, a new pattern to the light that pulsed beneath her skin. Nathan noticed it one morning as sunlight streamed through their cabin windows, catching the altered shimmer of her arms. "Your bioluminescence has shifted," he observed, his scientific curiosity immediately engaged. "The wavelength is different." Lyra had noticed other changes too: fatigue, sensitivity to certain foods, and a strange fluttering sensation in her abdomen. On Astralis, these might have been recognized as early signs of pregnancy, But she had long ago abandoned such hopes. When the nausea began, Nathan insisted on running tests. "It's probably just my body continuing to adapt to Earth's environment," Lyra said as Nathan prepared his equipment in the small laboratory adjacent to their cabin. "The atmospheric composition here is different from home." Nathan worked methodically, analyzing samples and studying readouts with increasing bewilderment. When he finally looked up from his instruments, his expression was one of complete shock. "Lyra," he said carefully, "according to these readings, you're pregnant." She stared at him, her skin pulsing with disbelief. "That's impossible. The Astralis physicians weren't accounting for human factors," Nathan finished. "The physicians on your world tested your compatibility with Astralis males. They never considered cross-species fertilization." Lyra placed a hand over her abdomen, feeling the subtle energy there. "A hybrid child. There's no record of such a thing in our histories. Maybe no one ever tried," Nathan suggested, moving to embrace her. "Or maybe there's something about human biology, specifically, that's compatible with yours in a way your own species isn't." The joy of their discovery was overwhelming but short-lived. Within days, a communication arrived from the Astralis homeworld. Somehow, they knew. "The Council of Elders requests immediate confirmation of your condition," the message stated coldly. "If verified, your return to Astralis is required by imperial decree." Nathan was furious. How did they even find out? And what right do they have to demand anything? "They have monitoring technology beyond Earth's understanding," Lyra explained. "And they believe any hair of mine, even a hybrid, belongs to the Empire." As her pregnancy progressed, Lyra's body changed in ways neither human nor Astralis medicine had documented before. Her luminescence intensified, particularly around her growing abdomen, as if the child within radiated its own light. Nathan meticulously recorded every development, building the first scientific understanding of human Astralis reproduction. "The cellular structure is fascinating," he told Lyra after one examination. "Our child has both human DNA and the stellar resonance patterns unique to Astralis royalty. It's as if the two genetic systems found a way to communicate." 4 months into the pregnancy, a small fleet of Astralis ships appeared in Earth's orbit. The diplomatic channels buzzed with concern. Never had so many Imperial vessels approach Earth simultaneously. The message that followed was clear. Emperor Novus himself had come to retrieve his daughter and unborn grandchild. Earth's authorities, anxious to avoid interstellar conflict, arranged a meeting on neutral ground. The Great Hall of the International Space Alliance headquarters was chosen, its transparent dome offering a view of both Earth's moon and the distant stars. Emperor Novus entered with the full regalia of Astralis royalty, his luminescence controlled into precise patterns that denoted his rank and lineage. 6 royal guards flanked him, along with 3 members of the Council of Elders. His eyes, silver like all those of royal blood, found Lyra immediately. "Daughter," he said, his voice carrying the formal tones of imperial address, "you will return with us today." Lyra, her hand firmly in Nathan's, stepped forward. Her pregnancy now clearly visible, her luminescence shone with unprecedented brightness. "Father, I greet you with respect," she replied in the Astralis tongue before switching to English for the benefit of the Earth representatives. "But I will not return. My home is here now, with my husband." The Emperor's luminescence flared with anger. "You carry the future of our lineage. The child must be born on Astralis soil, surrounded by the 3 moons' energy to properly develop its connection to the stars." "The child is developing perfectly here," Nathan interjected, his voice steady despite his nervousness. "I've monitored every aspect of Lyra's pregnancy." One of the council elders stepped forward, her ancient face tight with displeasure. "You are a human scientist. You cannot understand the metaphysical requirements of Astralis royal birth." "Perhaps not," Nathan conceded. "But I understand something your physicians missed. Why Lyra could conceive with me, but not with an Astralis male." The hall fell silent. Even Emperor Novas looked intrigued despite himself. Nathan continued, his confidence growing. Astralis biology evolved to absorb and process stellar radiation. Your reproduction depends on this energy exchange. But Lyra's system processes this energy differently. It doesn't release it during conception as it should. We know this, another elder said dismissively. It is her defect. It's not a defect, Nathan countered. It's a variation, and human biology doesn't require stellar energy exchange for reproduction. Our genetic material can adapt without it. That's why our child is possible. The emperor studied his daughter, noting the healthy glow of her skin and the strong pulse of light around her abdomen. You appear well, he admitted reluctantly. I am well, father, Lyra replied. Happier and healthier than I ever was on Astralis. For a tense moment, no one spoke. Then the emperor made a gesture to his guards, who stepped back. The council insists the child belongs on Astralis, he said. But I... He hesitated, something vulnerable crossing his regal features. I wish to understand this miracle. How my daughter, pronounced barren by our finest physicians, now carries a child. What followed was unprecedented in the history of human Astralis relations. Emperor Novas agreed to stay on Earth until the birth, bringing his own physicians to work alongside Nathan in studying this unique pregnancy. The Astralis doctors were skeptical at first, but gradually grew fascinated by Nathan's theories about genetic compatibility. As Lyra's due date approached, the emperor spent increasing time with his daughter, their relationship healing through careful conversations about her childhood, her exile, and her new life on Earth. He even developed a grudging respect for Nathan, whose scientific insights had accomplished what Astralis medicine could not. Your human sees patterns we missed, the emperor admitted to Lyra one evening as they walked by Echo Lake. His perspective is valuable. He sees me, Lyra replied simply. Not just my role or my lineage, but me. The birth occurred during a rare astronomical event, a perfect alignment of Earth's moon with all three of Astralis's moons, visible from Earth as 4 bright points in the night sky. The labor was difficult, Lyra's body navigating a process never before attempted by her species. But with both human and Astralis medical expertise present, mother and child emerged healthy. Their daughter, named Aurora, was born with skin that flickered between human smoothness and Astralis luminescence, her eyes a remarkable blend of human brown and Astralis silver. When she cried, her voice carried the musical tones of Astralis speech. Emperor Novas approached the infant with reverence, scanning her with ancient instruments passed down through generations of Astralis royalty. She carries the stellar resonance, he announced, genuine awe in his voice. The connection to the cosmos is strong within her, perhaps stronger than in any royal child for centuries. How is that possible? Asked one of the elders. Born on Earth, away from our moon's influence. The emperor looked at Nathan, who had developed his own theory. May I? Nathan asked, and at the emperor's nod, he explained. Aurora carries both human adaptability and Astralis stellar sensitivity. Earth's electromagnetic fields interact with her hybrid biology in ways that amplify rather than diminish her connection. This revelation transformed everything. In the days that followed, the Council of Elders revised their ancient texts, acknowledging that the royal lineage could continue through hybridization. Emperor Novas formally revoked Lyra's exile, but with an unexpected twist. He appointed her as Astralis's first ambassador to Earth, recognizing that her place was now between both worlds. Before returning to Astralis, the emperor stood with Lyra, Nathan, and Aurora at Echo Lake under the light of Earth's moon. I came to retrieve what I thought was lost, he said, his luminescence pulsing with emotion rarely displayed by Astralis royalty. Instead, I found something new, something that may change both our worlds. As the Astralis ships departed Earth's orbit, Lyra watched the night sky with her daughter in her arms, the infant's skin glowing in patterns that matched the stars above. She's beautiful, Nathan said, his arm around his wife's shoulders. and completely impossible according to everything both our peoples believed. Lyra smiled. Some beliefs need to be challenged. The universe has more possibilities than we imagine. Aurora reached toward the sky, her tiny hand luminescent against the darkness, seeming to grasp at distant stars. In that moment, Lyra understood what her mother had meant in her dream. When old paths are blocked, the stars find new ways forward. Through love that crossed the boundaries between worlds, she had found not just her own future, but perhaps a new future for both species. The impossible child slept peacefully under Earth's single moon, carrying within her the light of two worlds and endless possibilities.